They can start whenever. So basically, hey, this is Battle Arena. I'm Swark. The other guy's Zach. He talks a fair bit too. Okay, well, can't jump select. Anyways, so we are a part of the Trinity Force Podcast Network. You guys should really check them out. They have 3 podcasts: the T-Force proper, which goes live Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, twitch.tv/T-Force Podcast, and as a podcast that you can listen to on your iDevices or whatever, that comes out Wednesdays and Fridays, typically first thing in the morning. And there's also the LCS Rundown Podcast, which is Sundays at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, where a bunch of guys go over what happened in LCS that week, be it in both NA and EU. They occasionally touch on other regions as well.
Which I just have to chime in and say, I thoroughly enjoy listening to the LCS Rundown. It's awesome when you haven't had a chance to catch up on the games for the week, and you're a super LCS nerd like I am, and just love watching LCS all the time.
Totally. I haven't actually caught this week's yet, but I really need to. And then there's the third and final of the trio is the Ozdal Podcast, our brothers from Down Under, and they go. I don't think they go live just yet. They're still
working on it
for that. And that podcast goes out on Thursdays, I believe. It's actually not in my plug document. They forgot that one. Anyways, so, and then first, I mean, you guys probably all know this because you got in here, but plugging it anyways. In-game chat channel, T-Force. People talk about whatever. Talk about game knowledge, rant about awful solo queue games, try and get games together with friends. It's awesome. You guys should totally join. You should click the little gear in the top box of it and auto-join it on startup. If you don't know how to get into a chat channel, go to the chat rooms thing, that second bottom button from the right on your bottom panel in your League client. There's a little bubble with a plus sign next to it, just above it. Click that to join a public chat room. Type in T-Force, hit enter, you're good to go. So, yeah.
And I have to say, since I've joined this podcast group of friends, since I've joined the T-Force in-game chat channel, and since I've really started making friends with everybody here, I've, number one, more thoroughly grown to enjoy the game than I ever did playing just with a couple of friends and playing solo queue, really. And I've learned a lot. I can say, in all honesty, it has thoroughly improved my gameplay, both through listening to the podcast and playing with people in here and getting feedback from them and learning how to play just overall as a whole, and getting better game knowledge. And it's been a thoroughly enjoyable experience, so I highly recommend listening to what Spark just said and staying and hanging out with us, guys. Sorry, I was finishing my cigarette. Where did I put the other dock? Yeah, and on top of all of that stuff, while you've got the great content coming out of all of the different outlets from the Trinity Force podcast side of the network, there's also the Battle Arena stuff. Badger's done a really good job at really trying to organize all of the Battle Arena stuff, and has gotten himself the title of Battle Arena Director now because of it. And through his hard-earned efforts, we've got Battle Arena on Tuesdays, as you guys know, 7 p.m. EDT, that's Eastern Daylight Time, which you guys are all here for. They also just started doing a Bronze Boot Camp on Saturdays from noon to 3 p.m., also Eastern Daylight Time. There's also an Oceanic Battle Arena and an EU West, which are the Oceanics on Thursdays at 7 p.m. AWST, and EU West Battle Arena is 7 p.m. CEST. And the Oceanic one is casted by Badger and Carrot Colossus. The EU West one is casted by Badger and Luke, who I have not met. And the Bronze Boot Camp is casted by Badger, again, and Haberdashing. All a bunch of really great, knowledgeable guys. Just do quality work. And there's something about granolas that I thought Spork was going to talk about.
Oh, sure. So apparently we have a new sponsor. And it's, if you go to bit.ly/T-Force Granola, you can buy some Gatherer's Granola. The guys can't stop raving about how good it tastes. Seriously, apparently Cheers Cat's in one of the bags. I don't know, I missed the latest T-Force, so that's interesting. But apparently it's really awesome, so you guys should totally check it out. If you put in the offer code TForceGG, all caps, you get 10% off your first order. They're also available at Trader Joe's and other international markets in 11 northeastern states.
And if Cheers Cat likes it, it's probably pretty awesome, considering Cheers Cat was hanging out in the box from their Nature Box stuff beforehand and was loving that. So Cheers Cat so far has been a pretty good indicator of how good something is. So follow his cat around.
And if you guys can't get enough of the podcast people from just the content that they put out there, you can also follow them on Twitter. the main guys are at GGC Pone, at DeClaude, at D Shironi, and at Chira Jaden. All the primary 2 Battle Arena guys at Badger Senpai Lol and at Azdorishan. And then there's the T-Force LCS Rundown guys at Serial Box with a W, at Mott Ganorum, at Optimus Tom, and at GR Russo. So you should follow them. And there's also the Oslaw guys at Carrot Colossus, at Steven Garstone, at Piggyboy1, and at VespQD_lol. So follow them. They're pretty cool.
Just follow everybody.
Pretty much follow everybody, because Twitter's awesome. Follow us. See us rant about everything. Yeah, I think that's all the plugs.
I believe you are correct.
Oh, I'm dumb. Also, this is the official website, TrinityForcePodcast.com, where you can find all the podcasts and links to download them on your favorite devices, iTunes, Stitcher, what have you.
There's also links to...
That's where you want to be.
There's also links to all of the Battle Arena times and all the Battle Arena stuff that they've been doing. There's a link also on the podcast website that talks about when the times are, who casts them, and a bunch of other information if you guys are interested in finding other stuff to keep doing and join up for more of the Battle Arena stuff. So definitely go check that out. Also, tiny side note, everything T-Force is pretty much T-Force Podcast except the website, which is Trinity Force Podcast.
You can watch Twitch is twitch.tv/Trinity Force Podcast, or T-Force Podcast rather. That's for pretty much everything except apparently this. We're on T-Force Podcast too because we're so popular. And yeah, follow the official podcast Twitter as well, twitter.com/T-Force Podcast. I think that's everything.
I think you are correct. And I
that's a lot of plugging.
And I don't think we messed it up.
Oh, if you have questions about Battle Arena afterwards and you want a more in-depth explanation, email battlearena@trinityforcepodcast.com after the cast. Battle Arena stuff only. And Badger or whoever's running that will be happy to chat and give you more feedback.
Also, if you have questions for the T-Force Podcast themselves, there's feedback at Trinity Force Podcast, where you can talk to Adam Ponophobia himself through emails, and he will answer them on the podcast sometimes.
Yes.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah, apparently. Cool.
We're
in delay already.
I was going to say, that being said, we're into delay, and we can talk Champ Select so far, Summoner spells, and everything else.
Yeah. Bans don't find me weird. Interesting is the Yi ban. Whatever. Anyways, so what do we got here? We
can even talk about the Yi ban. I mean, we're talking solo queue here. I don't see the Yi ban being that powerful. Every other ban on the table, I can totally feel.
He's not as bad since they nerfed Feral Flare last time around.
Yeah, he went from being god tier scary to...
only scary if you let him free farm for too long.
Yeah.
So. But whatever.
That being
just a pain to deal with. Everything else is pretty standard bans, really.
Yep.
What do we got? We got Leona Silver bot lane versus Lucian Karma, presumably.
I would say that looks correct to me.
Yeah, so... very pokey harassy lane there.
Very pokey.
I don't know. It's interesting. Curious bot lane. Kind of want to see how it goes. Top lane looks like it's top lane J4 versus Jace. You almost never see top lane J4. It's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
it's a bit gimmicky.
It's coming back.
Apparently, I haven't actually seen one in a while.
Coming out of the jungle, we've got Wukong and Vi. Both
pretty common.
Pretty common and pretty strong junglers. And out of the mid lane, we've got Heimerdinger and Ziggs. I'm assuming Heimerdinger has TP in the mid lane, which
it could be top lane Heimerdinger and mid lane J4, which is even higher on the trolley factor than normal J4 laning is.
I actually think that might be what it is, only because I think I remember hearing talk of it in the T-Force chat earlier, which would be very intriguing to see a mid lane J4. I don't know how mid lane J4 would match up against a Ziggs.
I don't know.
But I guess we're going to see how that goes. Also, the Jace into Heimer or Heimer into Jace as it is. Right? Did I get that right? Who picked first? 1, 2... Yeah, Heimer into Jace pick.
The solo lane's picked after Jace.
Yeah, I don't know how that would go. My only concern being
that because you can get the range to blow up the turrets more.
Yeah, I was gonna say usually you want to go top lane Heimer into somebody who Heimer's gonna bully out with his towers.
Typically a melee.
Kind of like playing a Ryze top or a Soraka before the Soraka nerfs top, where you're bullying them out by being that ranged big bully. Don't know if that's really gonna work against the Jace. Sorry, I was also reading Twitch chat right now, Twitch chat, and Aurora Dragon wants to get our attention.
Yeah, I saw that, so... Well, focus on... I didn't really get anything from anybody else, but we'll see. Cool, so let there be loading screen.
And SporkV said, "Let there be loading screen." And there was loading screen. So, yeah, guys, if this is your first time coming out and playing with the T-Force podcast, playing in Battle Arena, I highly recommend.
Welcome, it's fun.
Yeah, welcome. It's a really good time. You can learn a lot. It's actually how I started learning more about the game as a whole and learning more the macro side of the game and the overall side of the game to increase my game knowledge, to the point now where I'm casting with SporkV here. Bot lane summoners. Oh, I'll take that. Sivir taking
barrier
over heal, and Leona taking heal. I agree with your suggestion. Thank you, Headhunter Nidalee, for the suggestion. I don't love it, and the reason I don't love it is because heal on the support is really difficult to time and know what your AD carry's plan is. Whereas the move speed boost, say your Sivir is going in, she's just harassing, she takes a decent amount of damage, but she's probably going to be fine. They both blow their summoners, both blowing heal and the barrier to save her, and they didn't need to. Now you've blown 2 summoners, and you are at a significant disadvantage in the lane. Also, that aside, I'm not totally offbeat by the barrier. Heal, I believe, is better, but I'd let the barrier slide. You really want exhaust, though. Especially Leona being able to EQ in, lock somebody down, stun somebody, and then being able to take that much damage with her shield and laying some back out with her shield. You need something more to follow up on that. You can really lock down the enemy AD carry with that exhaust and stop them from doing the damage to your support, your AD carry, to win that trade out for your bot lane, for your side of the bot lane. Weigh-ins.
To be fair, neither team is actually running exhaust.
Yes, I did notice that.
I mean, I don't know. Neither team has somebody that screams, "I need to be exhausted, otherwise I'm going to destroy your team," like a Yasuo or something. But it's still generally a decent enough idea to have an exhaust on you. I mean, Ignite support's fine because you can go for the early kills and whatever. I don't hate that.
Haven't
but yeah,
seen it in
as
a
Zach
while.
was mentioning, the heal on this, you want your heal almost always on your ADC, not your support. Just because the ADC, you as a support, you're trying to do your best to keep your ADC alive, but you can't read their mind. The ADC might know, I'm going to be fine here, I'll survive, but the support thinks you're not going to be and blows heal when he doesn't need to. Or he's going to be like, I'm fine, I'm just going to walk away and back. It's things like that where you really should, the heal should be on the ADC probably.
That and just another side note, Sivir is like one of the safest AD carries in the game, if not the safest, because of her spell shield and how her ult works, allowing her to escape from bad situations she's gotten herself into. The heal would be nice on her just for the move speed on top of all of the safeness, but having a heal and barrier in that bot lane, you could have even gone Ignite and gone, you're such a safe bot lane already between that combination, you could have probably gone Ignite even over the exhaust and done fairly well with the bot lane in that respect, because you're still safe enough to win the trades without the exhaust, and you don't need the extra heal or the extra shield from barrier because of her spell shield and because of her being able to be so safe in that lane.
Pretty much. Hey, cool, we're in game.
And we're in. Let's line up our lanes. Something I normally don't remember to do.
Okay, so is this a top lane Heimerdinger or a top lane Jace?
I'm going to put him top lane for now, and we'll see how this works out.
Curious. Yeah, it's looking like J4's top lane. Okay, cool. Don't see many of those.
Was there any other summoners I really wanted to talk about? I mean, taking the TP on Heimer leads me to believe that he's going to be top lane Heimerdinger, which I would be okay with.
Some, though.
Yeah.
Just because Heimerdinger doesn't typically have much use for offensive summoners because of how his kit works.
Yep.
And defensive summoners are only really necessary if you got somebody who's going to jump on you, which Ziggs really isn't. Ziggs isn't really typically somebody you are like, I need healer barrier against. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not typically somebody you're like, I need healer barrier to survive Ziggs.
And Wukong taking a lot of damage, having to blow the flash. The flash coming out from Jace, though. And the first blood's going to go over to Jace.
Yeah, that's why you almost always want to have your mid laner standing in the bush just waiting. In case that invade comes in, you don't want to be walking in and face checking it right around the kind of 1 minute, 1.5 minute mark.
Also,
that's typically when people invade.
On top of that,
you don't want to walk into the bush at the same time they are.
Yep, and on top of that, you have, now that J4 has put down his Trinket Ward, you have 1 Trinket Ward on the map. You guys bought 5 Trinket Wards. The enemy team has already used all of their Trinket Wards, and you guys are now just using them at the minute 40, minute 50 mark. Those would have been really helpful to keep the vision early in that bot jungle side so that you didn't get invaded on. Even just 1 sitting in the middle of the river can save a life. Wards save lives, guys.
Pretty much, yeah. Wukong's going straight to us right now that he's died. Also, one thing there as well, he's like, Wukong knew he was probably pretty dead there. I'm not sure he needed to blow flash. Like, he might have gotten away. I mean, he probably would have gotten away, I guess, because he did force the Jace to flash after him, but I don't know.
I feel like trading the lane flash for his own might end up being...
Yeah, talking it out, actually, I'm wrong. Yeah,
pretty good.
Is probably worth.
Just because...
He ended up forcing a flash from the laner.
Yeah, and the laner forcing the flash is going to put him at a disadvantage in the lane.
The laner typically needs flash more than jungler does.
Also, one other side note on summoners that I just wanted to go over that I just noticed. Ziggs taking Ignite. It's not a huge problem, but personally I feel like taking either heal or barrier on a Ziggs is going to be much more beneficial because you don't want to really be close enough to them to throw down that Ignite 99.9% of the time.
Totally. I mean, I admit I'm bad. I kind of like my Ignite on my Ziggs too, but it is kind of a bad habit. I just tend to run Ignite on all my mid laners. Yeah. But yeah, in general with your Ziggs, you do want to stay far enough away that you aren't actually in Ignite range. It's a similar reason to why you never take Ignite on Caitlyn. You shouldn't be in range if possible to use it, really. Jace is harassing pretty good top lane. Like, J4's already out of pots. Jace has not even used his. I like that. I mean, he's abusing the range advantage heavily.
Yes, he is. And he's doing that exactly like he needs to. I'm surprised that they didn't swap, but I think J4 would have a tough lane no matter where he ended up. Leona goes in and blows the
Forces
summoner.
Both summoners. Yep. Both summoners out of the AD carry. I like that.
She did blow her own heal, but the trade-off worked out fairly well.
Yeah. Wow, that's not fine.
Jace is going to pick up the kill. And
that was
just barely.
Only just. That was pretty crazy.
Definitely a very close fight in the top lane.
Definitely. I was actually closer than I was expecting for how much just the Jarvan was getting poked down by the Jace.
Yep.
But that's the power of top lane Jarvan all ins on you.
I was going to say, that's what Jarvan really needs to do. He is doing the right thing. You want to be on top of that Jace so that he can't just continuously harass you. If you're standing on him all the time, he can't just ranged poke you for free. He's going to take trade back.
The problem with that is Jace has a knockback in his kit. That's the tricky bit with that.
It is. It's a very tough lane matchup for him.
It's honestly, it's really not a good lane matchup at all.
Lucian getting locked up, and Sivir's going to pick up a kill in the bot lane. Very good engage, playing Leona exactly like you should. Using that brush control and the lack of brush control coming out from the purple team's bot side.
Yeah. When you give Leona bush control, you're pretty much forfeiting your lane most of the time. That's the thing. It's like giving it to a Blitzcrank. You just sit in the bush and you wait for an opportunity to make their life miserable. So.
I also just want to point out, Ziggs is taking a lot of harass, and he's being very heavily shoved out of this lane. Nothing that they can really do about it. Vi's trying to make a play there, but I think she's going to get caught out. They are going to blow the flash.
Yeah, that was not... Typically when your laner's like Ziggs right now, like that was not a place you should be ganking. As your laner's not going to back you up at all, because he's getting shoved out of lane and bullied really hard. He is very low health, and he has no mana at all.
Yep.
Like, he wasn't going to bring anything to that gank, so you could have shown him, been like, hi, I'm a Vi, you should back off a little bit. But, like, you can't really try and commit that hard. You gotta be aware of how your laner is dealing with it when you try and gank as a jungler.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. If your laner's way too low, there's no point. When you're trying to almost get into his tower, you're playing with fire for no good reason.
Yeah, so. Especially when Heimer's got camp set up already, very far up, and you're going to now be in between a Heimer's tower turrets and Heimer's tower. It puts you in such an awkward spot, knowing that Ziggs can't really follow anything up.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a huge, aside from mid lane, not huge CS disparities coming out. Even Jarvan doing a fairly decent job at trying to keep up.
No, but Ziggs is just getting dominated by Heimerdinger right now.
I haven't really had a chance to look to see how his last hitting is going. If it's just his last hitting that's the problem, stop directing my camera.
He's pretty much being forced to CS with bombs half the time.
Yeah. It looks like he's having a tough time with it.
Yeah. Okay, like a place right there though, that's where you should when you're getting shoved into a tower like that, you should really probably be using your bombs for CSing, not for trying to harass the Heimerdinger right there. Like if you just drop the bombs on that chunk of minions right there, you probably could have gotten 2 to 3 of them. Instead, you just threw a bouncing bomb, missed it, and got nothing from it. You just lost CS.
Trying to go for the engage here in the top lane, just very back and forth. They knew Vi was there. They went for it anyways, and they did get Jace very low. But now it's a 2v2 top lane up here, and Jarvan is going to pick up the kill. I don't know if he'll be able to escape, because
Vi wants his booty.
Yeah.
Oh, but the jukes. Vi is just greedy.
The Ignite comes down, and J4 does pick up the other kill. There's a good juking and outplaying there, keeping and denying the vision for the Vi by J4 there, wandering through the brush and changing up his direction every time.
That was some solid jukes from them, gotta say. Props.
Although, would be a little scared next time when she's actually 6. The bot lane, another good engage coming out from the bot lane. Flashes are burned for both sides though.
Yeah, Karma's getting some solid harass down, but she's getting just a little too close and letting Leona come in on her afterwards, and then she just gets chunked really hard by the Leona
negating
combo.
that trade.
Yeah.
Looking, the tower doesn't have a huge amount of damage put onto it.
Yeah, so you really should be spending less of your mana trying to harass and more of it just trying to keep some CS up.
Yeah. At this
right
point,
now, like, Heimerdinger shoves harder than just about anybody. So you need to worry, like, he's going to shove you under tower, and you're going to have to use your spells to CS. It's just how this lane's going to work. You can't afford to be wasting mana trying to harass him. If you can try and CS and harass at the same time, awesome. But you're going to, like, with the way the lane's been going, you need to be saving mana just trying to keep minions up under tower.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, even just allowing him to push you under tower every time, using his turrets, Ziggs does a fairly decent job at clearing out under his tower after, like, an item or so. So wouldn't, like, he's gonna keep shoving you, you know he's gonna keep shoving you. Allowing him to do so, kill getting picked up in the bot lane. Allowing him to do so and just farming under tower, using your mana for just farming, would definitely be more beneficial so that it keeps you in the game. Big trades coming out of the top lane, too.
I mean, it also wouldn't be a bad idea, like, even if you're not going to use your mana for farming, use your bouncing bombs on his turrets instead of him. Like, it's a pretty long cooldown for him to get more turrets up.
Yep.
It's, what is it? It takes him 21 seconds to generate a new turret. Like, if you keep his turrets down, Heimerdinger doesn't do just anything. Just squiddly. It just doesn't do anything without turrets up, hardly.
Alright, enough directed camera. You're killing me here.
Like, that's the thing. You shouldn't be trying to harass him. You should be either taking his turrets or just farming with your mana.
It looks like blue team invading into the blue buff side there.
Yeah, they're going in. I don't know. I was going to say that they're going in to try and keep the blue buff down, but they're way late for the first respawn. I guess just looking for vision for second respawn, trying to deny it then, but I don't know. It's interesting. Well, that's not even a full duration ward, it's a trinket ward. So I don't know what the deal is. That won't even last till the blue's up. I'm not quite sure what the invade was about, but okay then.
Yeah. Big trading going down in the top lane. J4 looking like he's going to take quite a lot of damage here. He is going to get knocked back. The flash and the ignite comes down from Jace, and he does go down. I'm not seeing any huge problems in the top lane, aside from that there's a bad lane matchup for J4. Looking at his play as a whole, he's doing pretty much what he needs to do. I do like the call here from Purple Team to try to sneak this dragon, but now you know that the enemy team has
It's
vision.
fabulous, yeah.
Also, you gotta trade the aggro. The steal comes across.
Wukong, you was just so early on at Smite there. You gotta wait for it. You can't be baited out by, oh crap, there's a Vi here.
Yep.
Like, you gotta be careful.
On top of that, Purple Team as a whole, really good call going for it, but you have to trade that tower aggro back and forth. Or, sorry, the dragon aggro back and forth.
Yeah, you gotta trade aggro.
How low Wukong was, he was pretty much a free kill for Vi, no matter what.
He got one shot by her ult.
Yeah. Vi can just come in, kill you, and now you have no objective pressure because your smite is gone.
Advantage. Yeah.
Leona all-inning just over and over again, and they are going to kill up Karma again.
Yeah.
I will say, I really don't have a whole lot of qualms with the bot lane coming out from blue team right now. They are doing exactly what they should be. I can't comment too much on the builds, only because I don't play Sivir very much, and I don't know what the best itemization on Sivir is nowadays.
I'm not much of an AD carry player, so this is just strictly theory crafting here, but I feel like it's probably Infinity Edge right now.
Yeah, I thought that she built a lot of crit.
I feel like it should be right now. It should be what's going to probably become the new standard: double Dorans into Infinity into Phantom Dancer.
Yeah, and
whereas right now she's gone Zerkers, Zeal, 2 Dorans, and a Longsword. Like, that's one thing that ADCs, especially the lower level ones, tend to get baited into a lot is investing in early attack speed. Early game, like you want your AD before your attack speed. You got attack speed is no good to you if you don't have AD to back it up. If you're hitting somebody for 50 damage, it doesn't matter if you're hitting them twice a second. It's still only 50 damage. Whereas if you're hitting for 200 every second, it's way more important.
It's gonna hurt a lot. So, good rotation in the mid lane here for them to take this tower.
Yeah.
And
even on somebody like Sivir, who she is something of a spellcaster. So attack speed doesn't help her at all with their spells. You want AD for that.
Sivir going static shift first. I can't say I'm totally put off by it, only because I know a lot of people have said you build a lot of crit on her, but I don't, like I said, I don't know her that well to know.
Shiv is good on Sivir because she's so good at pushing, it just accentuates that.
But not a first item.
You need AD first, is the thing.
Wukong getting caught out in his own jungle trying to stop Vi.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's probably going to go down.
But he's probably still going to die.
He does a good job of dashing the Q, but I don't know if he has no tower to escape to in the top lane, so it's going to be a lot of jukes here.
He's got 1 second until the clone's up, though.
And he is going to get picked up. Nope, he's going to keep walking.
Nice collapse in by the Karma, though. Very nice. I like that.
Yeah, a really good pickup there.
Was there early for, probably a bit too early, but I do like how his bot lane did come in and help him.
Yep.
Probably would have been better if he's had earlier collapses from his team. Actually, I wasn't watching where his lanes were, but that was what you needed to do. You probably just could have been a bit faster on it.
Yep.
But that was definitely the rotation that you needed to make there.
All right, here's a question for you, and I'm posing it as a question. Leona, she just bought move 5s. Thoughts?
I like it.
Okay. I don't know because I don't play Leona a lot.
I don't like Mobies that much anymore on most people, But like my kind of rule of thumb for Mobies is when you're somebody who has a big skill shot pick that you want to get, and you don't like after you get that you don't care if you're fast. That's people like Blitzcrank, like Thresh, like Leona. It's you get that hook or that Zenith Blade, and then you don't care if you're fast. You have done your job.
You want
you're
the
Leona,
quick
you're in the middle of their
positioning.
team. You're in their team. You're in the middle of their team. You don't care if you can run fast afterwards.
Yep. You just want that
Your job
quick.
is to sit there. Your job is to sit there in the middle of the team and be really obnoxious.
Yeah. So you want that really fast, quick repositioning, so that you can get into your positioning. I just wasn't sure what your thoughts were on those versus like Merc Treads or Ninja Tabi instead, just for more defensive stats.
Those are certainly fine, but I do kind of like the Mobius actually.
Okay. I was just wondering.
I do like it.
Karma going pretty heavy in the poke. My one concern that I don't like about the Karma build, there's no Sightstone at all whatsoever yet.
Yeah, Karma, you need your Sightstone.
Good flash of the Wukong ult there.
Yeah, no, when you're supporting, your first item your first completed item should always be a Sightstone, always.
It's just cost effective.
I might get tier 2 gold gem before I go there. And just buy wards before that.
Good re-engage from Leona.
Yeah, like you need that Sightstone, especially like you got Sork Boots. That money for Sork Boots should have gone to a Sightstone first. Actually, I'm not even sure I've seen mention the way of wards at all from Karma. I'm not watching her inventory too closely, like I should be though.
She's bought a few, but the cost efficiency of buying a Sightstone early.
Sightstone is the best GP10 in the game.
Yeah,
bar none. Like, it's not even close. Every time you use a ward from a Sightstone,
you're saving 75 gold.
You just earned 75 gold. That adds up really fast.
I just wanted to point out, just watching your engages. As the junglers, Vi did it early, and Wukong just did it now at the 17-minute mark, roughly. Going in when you're 2v1 against a really safe and really aggro bot lane, like the Leona Sivir combo, and you're going in 1v2 versus a 4-0 or 3-0 at the time Sivir, who's got an obviously huge item advantage on you at this point, just walk away. You're gonna know when to cut your losses and when you probably can't pick up a kill. Your ult was already down, and you didn't have a whole lot left that you could really do.
Pretty much. Although, to be fair, I would actually not call Sivir that scary right now. Just because her item build. Like, she doesn't do that much damage right now. She attacks fast, but she doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah.
So, like, you gotta be careful for that. Oh, that was beautiful.
Landing a really good ult there. A lot of damage coming down.
That is precisely the ult you want from a Wukong. That was bang on.
Very well done coming out of the purple team side there.
Unfortunately, they only got one kill out of it, but, you know, take what you can get.
See, and they're making the right calls, saying, alright guys, we won the fight.
Fabulous engage.
Changing up the call, going for the tower. I think I would have gone for the dragon. I believe, if I remember correctly, the quote coming out from the T-Force podcast, the tower will always be there, the dragon won't. Denying the enemy team getting that, and you guys would have been far enough away that they couldn't re-engage like they're doing now, would have been a much better call. You could have burned that dragon much faster than you can burn a tower without a wave there. And it would have worked out. It would have been more global gold for your team without the ability of them coming back in like they are now and making a huge, not a huge play, but forcing you out from gaining any objectives.
Okay, I do have a slight qualm with that thing, although right now it's definitely true. Right now, when the respawn timers are so early, and if you know that you're not going to get hardly any damage on the tower, take the dragon 10 times out of 10. But there is also the thing, dragons respawn, towers don't.
Yeah.
So if to counteract that, if it's your option's one or the other and it's like the other team's not going to get one, yeah, probably take the dragon. But if it's trading dragon for mid tower, it's worth it for the team taking mid tower because that dragon will respawn and the tower won't.
Yes.
So I'm just for clarity's sake, in this case, yes,
you're
completely right. But it is not always the case that you should go for a dragon over tower. It all depends. Like there's so much put into it, but like right there, it was their team was up right away, and you wouldn't. There's no way you're possibly taking the tower in time.
League of Legends in general is such a circumstantial game, and it's all about reading the information that you're given, and times like that, making the call, like you were just saying, for a dragon over a tower or an inhibitor, it really comes down to what are you going to be able to gain, and what are you going to give away by doing so. And what can you safely gain without giving them an advantage somewhere else.
Exactly. You have to like look at your variables and just figure out, okay, what do I gain from this? What do I lose? Like right there, purple team lost an opportunity at a free dragon for a little bit of tower damage mid lane. Like they didn't even they got to like half health, and then they got killed a couple times too. So in that case, you should have gone for the dragon.
J4 getting caught out in the top lane. And the whole like three of them collapsing on him. I just want to point this out, and the reason I'm bringing it up is not just play by play, but J4 was extended. He has no tower. Jace doesn't either, but Jace is in a pretty safe spot for himself, knowing that he had the team around him. J4 had no wards around.
He had no vision at all,
and no vision of the enemy team whatsoever.
Yeah, when you're losing like this, you can't extend past where you have vision. Otherwise, especially against a team with a Leona and a Vi, if they catch you, you're dead. Like they have extremely good single target pick and kill potential. So yeah, that was just a mistake.
Blue team really low, but still trying to siege this, which isn't really the worst call because Jace, Ziggs, and Sivir have so much siege potential between the wave clear and Jace being able to just like mow down a tower. It's pretty scary. Good re-engage coming in though. Wukong landing the ult. Jarvan locking everybody in. Don't know if they'll be able to clean the entire fight up.
Okay, right there, J4 needed to drop his ult earlier, I think.
Dropping it right.
Skip back.
Yeah, I'll let you check that.
Like, yeah, I'm just gonna quickly back up a bit, but pretty sure he just had his walls up there blocking his team off when he didn't need to.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I lied. He dropped it just after the Sivir died, although he probably could have dropped it a little bit earlier and been fine because she was so low.
Yep.
I stand corrected.
So I will say Blue Team doing a good job at trying to create pressure at multiple points in the map by pushing both top and mid, but they are going to lose the bot lane tower here to Heimer as he split pushes, which putting Heimer out in the split push is, I would say, a very good call considering he does have teleport, even though he's not a super strong split pusher. Actually, his teleport's not up right now, so...
The problem is he just uses a teleport to get to where he's split pushing.
Ah.
If you're somebody with teleport and you're split pushing, you use that teleport to get away. You don't use that to get into the split push position.
Yes.
Unless you were about to backdoor their base and kill the Nexus, a teleport is for escape, not for getting to where you're split pushing to.
Or to joining your team.
Or to join your team
while they're putting pressure somewhere else.
Exactly. You don't use it to get to where you're split pushing. You use it to get away from where you're split pushing, to either your team or just to base.
And I've noticed it a lot recently in the games that we've casted, that people take teleport, but they don't utilize it as... they use it a lot early to get back to lane, to keep that lane advantage, or to not fall behind if they're behind. But then when the mid to late game comes, they don't utilize it for putting map pressure across the entire map. And it's more just to meet back up with your teammates while they're doing, while they're pushing mid or whatever, which isn't always necessarily a bad thing, but having that TP, especially on a champion like Shyvana or Renekton does it fairly well, but Renekton's better off with Ignite 99.9% of the time in lane. But any of those pretty hard split pushing champions, you want to create map pressure on multiple points so that the enemy team has to deal with you. And if they don't bring TP, now you have a 5v4 somewhere else on the map that you can choose where you want to be.
Exactly.
Blue team doing a good job at realizing that they're pretty strong and poked down, utilizing their poke. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. Utilizing their wave clear and their distance that they can really stay back and siege with to force them off of that tower.
Yeah. Like right now, Blue Team's taking advantage of the fact that the only lane they had that lost is a Ziggs, and Ziggs is still very good at wave clear even if he loses the lane. Whereas right now, Purple Team's trying to split push with the Heimerdinger. The tricky thing with the Heimerdinger pick too, not to bash on it too hard, is that he's not like once he's out of lane phase,
he doesn't really bring
actually
a lot.
He doesn't bring much to your team.
Like, I do
right
have
now,
a question for
a
you.
bit, but he's not like he doesn't take towers terribly fast.
No,
So.
I did have a question for you, and I was wondering what your thought process on it was how you enjoy the Banner of Command out on Heimer right now.
It's certainly a very solid pick because the damage amp on it does actually proc on his turrets.
Yep. I just want to point out
it's pretty cost efficient. Gives him a nice bit of AP, a bunch of CDR. It's a great item on Heimerdinger, really.
I want to point out right there, very good culling from Lucian, knowing that who did he just get the kill on? Leona, I believe, had nowhere to run. Like, she had a wall, and that was the only place for her to get away.
Yeah.
And lining up that, like, Lucian's ult, because it can be blocked by other people or sidestepped fairly easily, it's really difficult to land the majority of it on somebody. But utilizing corners and walls, like he did there, is really, you can really gain a lot out of it, actually, when you use it in that way.
Completely agree.
Also, Wukong going really deep with no vision control. It looks like he might get out of this. They actually might try to re-engage a little too hard. But yeah. Yeah, Wukong's going to go down to the Ziggs bomb. A very nice ult coming out of Mega Inferno bomb coming out of the Ziggs there. But yeah, if you don't have vision control, you do not want to be in your enemy jungle, especially when you've got no towers to fall back on and your team's not right behind you.
Exactly.
And the vision in this game in general, by wards. Wards, 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 more wards. Blue team's doing a good job at keeping at least a little bit of Baron vision control and a little bit of Dragon. I see one right on the backside of their red buff bush, if I believe. But nobody has actual vision on Dragon, and blue team is the only has the only vision around the Baron area right now.
Blue does have vision on Dragon, actually.
Do they? I can't tell if it's actually...
The one in the pit.
Okay. I'm just looking at the minimap because I didn't want to jump away while they sieged.
Yeah.
Good engage coming down from J4, actually. They are going to lose the turret for it, but I think J4 is going to pick up the double there. Trading off the objective, though, for a couple of kills. Looks like it might turn in their favor.
Maybe. Leona's pretty caught out here.
She is. And she's Leona, so it's not like she's going to do a whole lot. A nice EQ, though, to get herself away. The slow is going to come down, and Jace is going to pick up the kill on Karma there. J4 picking up the kill. And then, okay, right there. I don't know why J4 didn't follow up.
Okay, Vi. Why are you engaging right there? Your team just lost a fight. That is precisely when you don't engage 2v1. Now you're just gonna die for free.
She might.
Maybe.
She good use of the Vault Breaker to get slipping out of there. But yeah.
But that was not a fight she should have picked there at all.
No, when you have
your
no
team
backup.
just loses a fight and you have no backup, especially when like that. Yes, your team's ahead, but your team's not that far ahead. And like the being really far ahead isn't so much on you as it is your top lane and your ADC. Like, you're not that fed as a Vi.
Which I didn't realize that Jace was as far ahead as he is until right now.
Yeah, he's really far ahead.
I will say, though, Jace being really far ahead, yes. But J4 did a really good job at staying in this game after being shoved really hard and, like, really getting zoned out fairly early. After he hit level 3-4, he really brought himself back into the game with some good ganks and just some overall good damage coming back out and good plays. And he did the right thing. I want to give him props on this. He did the right thing, and he built a bunch of armor and magic resist, and didn't just build straight damage.
He didn't actually build that until after he had his brutalizer.
I thought he had a giant spelt pretty early. Maybe I am mistaken.
He had the brutalizer done and the parse for a team out. I don't remember when he bought the giant spelt. So
yeah,
I feel like the giant spelt probably should have come first, but I don't remember for sure.
Yeah. I thought he had one early, but yeah, agreed. So, well, I'll note on it anyways then, just in general. If you're losing a lane, especially in top lane, just because in top lane you will want to build tanky at some point anyways, 99.9% of the time. If you're losing in top lane, don't build damage. I mean, it seems to have worked out here just because of how things went, and there was a decent amount of pressure coming out from Wukong for J4. But if you know your lane's just like you're at a total loss at that point, for the time being at least, just building straight. Wow, that Wukong ult. I'm sorry, I have to stop. The Wombo coming out. Vi going really deep on 3 of them.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, build defensively if you're behind. Build hardcore offensively if you're ahead. That's all the point I was trying to get to.
Okay, yeah, here's the thing though. I'm just gonna rag on Wukong right here a bit. I don't know why you have a Vamp Scepter and an Aegis is not actually the item you want right now. The problem, like the 2 fed people you're facing is the AD carry, who does physical damage, and a Jace, who does physical damage. An Aegis is an AoE magic resist item. It's what you pick when you're facing like Rumble Ziggs or something.
Yeah, when...
Yes, they have a Ziggs, but the Ziggs is not very fed. Although he doesn't death cap now. But.
When Jace is the biggest person on the enemy team, you want to be building lots of armor, not magic
Jace
resist.
is the biggest, and the Siffer's not far behind.
No.
You need like a Randuin's or something. Randuin's, by the way, works beautifully with a Wukong ult. Just ult in, and then hit the Randuin's active, and it's just they're stuck right there. So like you need armor, and you... Are you building a Zeke's? I really hope you're not building a Zeke's, dude, because that's not the item you want right now at all.
Yeah.
Like, when you're behind like this, like I mentioned it earlier, especially as an initiating jungler like Wukong, you build damage, because you along with J4 are your team's front line. You need to survive long enough to get that full channel ult off, because that ult does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Just base stats.
What is the scaling up? Isn't it like 3 or 4?
I think a full channel is a 1.0 AD ratio.
Is that what it is? I knew it was
4.
high.
4.0. It's 4.0 rather. I'm done.
I was gonna say 1.0.
Yeah.
I thought it was 4, but yeah. You do a lot of damage, and
actually,
you don't even have to build that much AD to make it. I mean, with a full channel 4.0, you can build pretty much straight tank after your Elder Lizard, and you're gonna be doing exactly what you need to be doing. Whereas building the damage and magic resist against a team that's doing mostly AD damage, you're not surviving long enough.
No.
Karma is going to go down here. Really sloppy counter engage from the purple team. They've done a good job recently at re-engaging on the engage coming out with the Wukong J4 ult, and not quite winning, but not losing the trades. But they were really just out of position for that, and it looks like it's going to cost them at least an inhib tower. Oh no, they're gonna go for the top lane, the bot lane inhib. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the inhib's open, so go for the free inhib. Vi's trying to tank mid lane. You guys just go for the free inhib. No point in tanking a tower you don't need to. By the time you kill that, the other minion is gonna be here for mid lane. So
yeah, and with Karma being one of the only ones up,
she's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
Like just straight up, she's not going to. That's two inhibs. Boom, big fight.
A good job, and a good use of the gate there by Jace to get his team out of there. Didn't even think of it, actually, but the synergy between Jace's gate and Sivir ultimate...
that whole team's gonna run really fast.
Yeah, they can either go straight onto you or get straight away from you as fast as they need to be.
They're gonna really hard on your team. Like, you're gonna get zerged so hard against this team comp.
See, now we see good trading off of the Dragon aggro. Yeah. I like to see that. So, I think what the purple team really needs to do to get back into this game is, number one, buy some armor. And actually, they're going to go for the Desperation Baron here.
Going for the Desperation Baron.
Not the worst call, knowing that the entire enemy team has gone back. And it looks like they're going to be able to pick this up pretty easily.
Jace just face checked it, but they had no vision on the Baron right there. That cost blue team heavy there.
That was a really good call coming out from the purple team.
This late in the game, especially when you're winning as hard as blue is, y'all gotta, you have to keep vision control on Baron. Yeah. Otherwise, this happens.
Especially if you're ahead.
That might actually let them back in the game. Especially if you're ahead, because you don't want the Desperation Baron to work.
No, and you can catch them out at the Desperation Baron and really just end the game there.
Yeah, if you catch them at Desperation Baron, they're dead. That's game over.
I'd say anything about
instead they get Baron and they'll be able to stall for a while now.
Anything past pretty much the 25-minute mark, would you say? You want to try to keep at least a ward or two on the Baron area, and in two different spots so that you can't clear it out easily. Yeah. Just to know if they're in the area.
Exactly. When they had that kind of just map dominance they had before that fight, Like, I don't know why you wouldn't have a pink ward in Baron Pit. Like, if they tried to contest it, you would have easily jumped them.
Yep.
And it sits there forever. So, you might as well.
I was going to comment on Sivir build, but I don't know enough about Sivir build.
It looks pretty normal now.
Wow.
I'm not sold on the Cutlass.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. The Trinity Force is pretty standard, I think.
Trinity Force Infinity Edge static shift is pretty normal. Blade of the Ruin King, I mean, it's fine on her. But it's, like, she doesn't have tanks that she needs to be shredding, really.
Jay's getting caught out going really deep all by himself.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of 80 carry builds, I do not like Infinity Edge into Blade of the Ruin King on Lucian. I just don't.
I didn't even realize that. Lucian Trinity Force on Lucian is like the best
Trinity
item.
Force 80 carry. Like, there is an argument that can be made for going Phantom Dancer instead of Trinity Force. It does scale a little better in the late game, but Trinity Force gives you an earlier spike.
Yeah, and it's
but
also...
Blade of the Ruin King should not be your second item on a Lucian, just ever.
No. Trinity Force, it just brings so much to his kit. I mean, he is the epitome of an AD caster.
Perfect. His kit literally fits perfectly with Trinity Force in every possible way.
Yep.
So I would say you should be going Trinity Force second. But even if you go something like Phantom Dancer second, that's still fine. It should not be a Blade of the Ruin King. And again, like on both these 80 carries, they're not Vayne, Twitch, Kog'Maw, whatever. Like they're not somebody who default builds Blade of the Ruin King. They can build it fine if they need it against tanky people, which they aren't fighting. Tankiest person on the enemy team is either a Leona or a Vi.
Yes.
Like, and I mean Leona doesn't have that much health. She's got most of the armor. And Vi, okay, Vi's got decent health. She's probably okay to use Blade of the Ruin King on, but
also,
it's not an optimal build right now.
Just a macro side question for you. I was gonna make a point, but I didn't notice. Were both the super minions shoved in both top or mid and bot when they pushed that top lane tower, or were the super minions not quite there yet? Do you know?
I can't say I noticed.
Okay, because I was just gonna say, like, if you weren't in danger of immediately losing a lot of losing your Nexus towers, you have Baron. Going in on the all-in to try to ace them wouldn't have been the worst call, but I didn't see where the minion waves were, so I can't make that assumption wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I think what the purple team really needs to do right now is find a pocket engage somewhere. They need to set up and wait for the engage, which is really difficult being behind and having no inhib towers and a Nexus tower down and no vision. But
like if they weren't with open inhibs and one of them being dead, I'd say Warrior for Jungle would try and catch him in there, but even then it's a risky proposition because they can just backdoor. Like they're just in a really rough spot right now, and that's game. There's no way they're coming back from this.
No.
Vi with the YOLO ult because why not? But
yeah, Vi going pretty hard in. Jace picking up the kill onto Lucian, I believe, right before that, which takes out pretty much all of the damage that they had aside from J4, who's still building pretty much tank anyways. And it looks like they're going to clean this up pretty heftily.
Yeah. Although right now, okay, Vi
right
now,
going really deep.
Oh, you guys just lost your chance to ending the game right there. Okay. Right there, when the game is like that, especially if your 80 carry's dead, don't go for the kills over the towers. Get those towers. Those towers are way more important than kills are. You could have ended the game right there, but instead you got greedy for kills and were like, I can get a triple kill right here. So I'm just gonna, instead of hit the tower and win the game, you got greedy trying to buff your KDA up and ended up losing your team a chance at ending.
Yep. Which I don't think is going to be a huge detriment to them in this game, just because they have nothing left on the purple team.
But that was pretty throwy.
I have seen games lost. I have seen games lost on less bad plays.
Yeah. I've seen games.
I've lost games.
It's unlikely, but it's possible.
Yes. I think the only way they can come back in is to keep that top lane pushed off until that inhib comes up and force a fight outside of their base. And they have to win that fight. I mean, it's a desperation all-in, but a desperation all-in with Wukong and J4 ults, and just the massive wombo that they have is really going to be the only way for them to get themselves legitimately back into this game and have a fighting chance. Because the death timers are so long at this point in the game, if they win that team fight, they could potentially take some objectives and start getting some gold back in their pockets.
Yeah. It's worth noting Behrman's up in 40 seconds.
Yes.
So, if I was blue team right here, I wouldn't, their inhibs are all up now. I can't try and maybe get one. But if not, I just back off and just force the Baron, take the Baron, and win the game.
Yep. I mean,
they should know it's up right soon, because Jace was right there when they got it.
Yep. And a good engage coming down, the Wukong ult coming down. The Mega Inferno Bomb does go down. Wukong's going to have to back out. J4's going to ult. J4's going to go down. I'd say the biggest problem coming out right now for the purple team for that entire engage was they had the wombo, but they didn't have the focus.
Just kill the tower. Jace, just kill the inhibs. Just win the game. Don't get greedy for kills, man. You got the kill there, but it was not by much.
Yep.
Just end the game, people.
Nope, must get kills.
There we go. Finally. Okay, so the only person who was explicitly asking for permission was the Karma, or for focus was the Karma. Although I'm not sure if everybody looked new in this game, so I think a lot of people didn't realize that was really an option. So,
for what was that? I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Karma wanted focus, but nobody else mentioned that. But whatever.
Okay.
I feel like you guys might not have known that because we kind of didn't mention that in the pre-game lobby. So. Probably just go over everybody, but yeah, I'll start on Karma because she asked. Okay, so I don't mind your item build. Actually, I don't remember when you got your Zhonya's. So that's a thing I don't remember. But I mean, you did okay in lane. The problem is you gotta be the poke was good, but the problem is you're getting a little too close to the Leona when you were poking. And then she would engage on you, counteract your poke, and win the trade, honestly.
Yeah, because your squid